What is up, Tempo family? It's your girl Tiana here, wishing you a happy Wednesday. Today, our featured Tempo artist is none other than Sacaj from Jamaica. You've seen her music videos all over Tempo, and you now have the opportunity to hear her story as well. Thank you so much for joining me today, Sacaj.
Thank you for having me today, Tiana.
Of course. And for those watching who are interested in having their music video aired on the Caribbean's #1 entertainment channel, you can submit your video to me directly at tcolbert@temponetworks.com, and I will help you get your music video featured across the Caribbean and tri-state area and reach the masses and get your music video the exposure that it truly deserves. So let's get right into it. Sacaj, let me start by asking you, where did your journey as a music artist first begin?
My journey as an artist began about 2019. It's when I recorded my first song in 2019.
2019?
But I've been writing music since about 2005, since I was like 5 years old. I've been writing, but I didn't want to become an artist until about 2019.
And what was that moment that you realized that you did want to become an artist and pursue it?
Well, it was after I heard myself, after I recorded my first single, that's Mary Jane, hearing it back, I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do.
You
Because I
got
didn't
talent.
know. Yeah, in university, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I kind of was just there hoping that inspiration would, strike. And it did. It did. So, yeah.
And you are definitely with your calling because you have an outstanding singing voice. It's beautiful. I love listening to you sing and watching your music videos. You have
Thank
so
you.
much talent. And I also want to know what your personal experience as a female recording artist has been in the music industry. How has that been for you personally?
Personally, there are struggles because it's still a very male dominated industry. I mean,
Hmm.
I'm so used to being the only female in certain spaces. Just a few months ago, I entered the festival song competition and I was the only female. And because of that, I get underestimated a lot because, females in reggae. So that has been, my biggest struggle. I would say being a female is the constant, being constantly underestimated until, of course, they hear what I have to come with.
Hmm.
As far as the other horrors that some of the females have gone through in this
Hmm.
industry, thankfully, I haven't gone through them as
Hmm.
yet because I have such a protective team, so I have to be, thankful for that.
And what was your inspiration for creating Woman Prayer? Was it something that you saw, or was that a personal experience for you?
Both, to be honest. I believe that, almost every woman that I have ever met in my entire 22 years of life
Hmm.
have been through some kind of abuse by the
Mm.
hand of a man. So, and it has become so normalized in our society.
Yes, it has.
Yes. So I
It's
just feel like
scary.
I needed to speak out on it, because I have a voice, so why not speak out on it, especially now in the media. I don't know if you've been following what has been happening in Jamaica. A lot of news have been coming out about women
Hmm.
being abused, raped, killed recently. So, you know, but it's not
There's
just
also
now. It has been happening over the years, and people have been turning a blind eye to it. And I believe that
hmm.
as an artist, it is my responsibility to shed a light on it, to get people talking about it more.
That's perfect. And it's definitely prevalent in the United States as well with the Me Too movement. Women are now coming out and speaking. So I think it's amazing that you're using your platform to spread such a strong message that needs to be heard, and it's being spread in a way that people can receive it because people love music.
Yeah.
So it's easier for them to digest.
Yep. Yep.
So
Yep.
in the Woman Prayer music video, can you elaborate on the white dress with the different words on them at the very beginning? What was the symbolism for that?
Yeah, so the words were some of the different news outlets, both in Jamaica and otherwise
Mm-hmm.
on TV and on social media, because
Yeah.
they have an important role to play in
Mm-hmm.
shining a light on everything that is going on with women and with abuse, and it
Yes.
isn't just for them to talk about it when it's trending or when
Mm-hmm.
something just happened and it's a hot topic,
Yeah.
because it's something that happens every day. So we as artists, we have a responsibility to speak about it in our songs, to
Yeah.
make people know, listen, this is something that's happening. But as the news outlets, if you guys don't, put it out there, make people know like this is happening, this is
Mm-hmm.
important, we need to talk
Mm-hmm.
about this. Everybody has their role to play if we're going to make this world safer for women.
And what was the significance of the different jerseys that you wore in that music video? Was there like a meaning of that behind that? The jerseys?
The creative idea behind the jerseys, I don't know. I think most, if not all of those jerseys are men's sports.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
we're calling you guys out, men. We're calling you out with those jerseys.
Okay. Yeah, it got my attention. So I'm sure it got a lot of people's attention as well, especially sports fans. So
Exactly, exactly. We're calling you out. Plus, to just symbolize how covered, since I'm literally covered
mm-hmm.
mostly in all of the videos, because they like to blame us when stuff happens, because
Mm-hmm.
shirt is too short or this is too
Yeah.
tight.
Yes.
It's our fault. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm fully covered. What are you gonna say now? What are you gonna blame me for now?
Preach. Preach. And what was the story that was being told in Woman Prayer with all the different scenes and the different characters? Can you tell us?
Okay, so you have the scene with the little girl who
Mm-hmm.
is evidently sad. So in the song, it speaks of a little girl, being in her room and crying because of what her dad does to her while she sleeps.
Okay.
And you have Bad Boy Trevor in the video as well, who is playing the antagonist. He's
Mm-hmm.
playing, the male who molests the child, and another
Mm-hmm.
up and coming actor, Joan, who is playing the wife. Because there's another line in the song that says, "After him come out of the little girl room and lay down beside the body of his heartless wife," because you
Yeah, I
do
saw.
have women who know what's going on and turn a
Mm-hmm.
blind eye to it, or
Yeah.
sometimes even enable it,
Mm-hmm.
because whatever reasons they do that. So that's the storyline that's being shown in the music video.
And what was the message that you want your listeners to take away from Woman Prayer when they listen to it and when they see it?
There's so many messages in that song. Um, one of them being, one, do not, there's a line in the song that a lot of people overlook, that is
Mm-hmm.
probably one of the most powerful lines for me, because it's kind of what prompted me to write this song, is a line that said, "All who vex only vex fear night." Because when the news just breaks that
Mm-hmm.
something big happened, or they find a body, or a girl
Mm-hmm.
just got raped, everybody is so outraged while it's
Yes.
trending. But then the next day it's just on to the next. It's like it never happened. No one cares anymore. You just vex for one night and that's it. And that's why we can never see any real change. And the next
Yeah.
thing is, for those who are pretending to be upset and have friends or know people who are
Yes.
doing these things, and you turn a blind eye, you act like you don't see, or you see it so much till you become desensitized to it, till you
Mm-hmm.
think it's normal. So many messages, man. I'm telling you,
The
there's so much.
powerful song and a powerful music video.
Thank you.
Let me see this. And who was Woman Prayer written for? Like, who is the target listener?
Both the victims and the people doing it, even though honestly I don't think the ones who are actually doing it can get through it, because people sometimes don't like the truth and they don't like
Yeah.
what horror is put in front of them.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's both to give some kind of, to shed some kind of awareness on the situation, and it's, would I even say it would be comforting for the victims? Maybe, because sometimes you want to speak about it and you can't find the words.
Yeah.
So that's our jobs as artists as well, to give voices to the voiceless.
Love that. And can you tell us about the jacket that the guy at the end of the music video had on? I saw a Confederate flag on his arm.
You
Can you
saw what?
elaborate on that? A Confederate flag, I believe. At the very end, the bad guy, when he was like trying to climb over the fence and they were putting
Oh,
tires on his head.
yeah, man. Nazi all the way.
Okay.
Yes, an antagonist all the way. Everything
Right.
bad. Yeah. Damn.
And what was the meaning of that brief scene where you're like banging on the door at the very end?
Because sometimes, there are people who like to say, if there's a God, why does he allow bad things to happen?
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I've
So
heard
the
that.
song is kind of like a prayer, like me talking to God, like, why?
Okay.
Why are you allowing this to happen? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of like the message behind the banging on the door, trying to get some kind of answer, because
Mm-hmm.
God don't really talk verbally. So
Mm-hmm.
you know,
I love everything that this music video stands for. So I thank you for creating it. There's definitely people in my life who I know personally that have gone through things like that, who are still struggling with it. It's like maybe like one event that happened in their life that just stays with them for years. They're still
exactly, changes their
struggling
life.
with it. It really traumatizes and affects people. And I'm happy to see that this movement is coming out against it. So thank you for being a part of that.
I'm glad to be a part of that, because it does change. That's line in the song as well, because it changes your life, like
Yeah.
something inside of you, even if, because it has become so normalized that sometimes it's happening to us and we don't even realize that
Yes.
it's happening to us. But subconsciously, and something in us changes. Like, we're
Mm-hmm.
not the same afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think this song is going to bring some healing and some
I
reassurance.
hope it does. I really hope it does.
So I'm going to switch over to your other music video, Babylon in Blue. Where was that music video shot?
That music video was shot in Kingston and St. Mary.
And why did you pick that location to do this music video?
Okay, so we wanted to showcase, the song is mainly about, Black lives mattering.
Okay.
So we wanted to show Black people just existing,
Oh.
Yeah, we just existing the way we exist, to let you know that we're actually people who have lives and
Mm-hmm.
exist outside of all these things that you guys do and put us through,
Mm-hmm.
kind of humanizing us in a sense. So that's why we went down into the garrisons in Kingston to get some of the guys, some shots of the guys there. We went by the river. There's some scenes in the river where I was trying to pick up the water
Mm-hmm.
with the basket. Yeah,
Yes.
because I think there's a Jamaican thing that says them give a basket to carry water. So that's kind of what they have done to us, or to Black people, especially like in America and places like that where racism is extremely prominent.
Yes.
They've given us an impossible task.
Mm-hmm. I also want to ask, who does your hair? Because your hair looks amazing in all these different music videos.
Thank you, my hairdresser, Vivian. She does my hair most of the time. This I did myself, but
Oh,
like
well
for
done.
music videos, yeah,
Okay.
Big up Vivi.
And what aspect of the production of Babylon in Blue did you enjoy the most of the production process?
Um, Writing it was quite fun. Writing it was. I wrote that song in my bathtub. I wrote it in my bathtub, my empty bathtub. I just sat in there with my pen and my paper, listened to the beat, and wrote that song. But actually, hearing the end product, like the mix, the instrumental of the song, is amazing. So hearing the end product, because I didn't hear it after I recorded it, I didn't hear it until it was completely done being mixed and mastered. So hearing the end product was like really an moment for me because it sounded really good.
And the significance of throwing back the bottle of tequila.
Man, sometimes alcohol is the only way we can cope, you know?
I enjoyed that scene. I was like,
Yeah,
you go,
sometimes
girl.
the only way we can cope. I'm sorry. And
It was raw. It was real.
I don't know if everyone does this, but in Jamaica, are you hearing me?
Yes.
In Jamaica, they have a tradition like to throw off the first bit of alcohol. They throw it on the ground, and I don't know. I guess they do it for the dead or something. So I guess for the many Black lives that we have lost, I had to throw the whole entire bottle of Patron on the floor. So yeah, there's that meaning as well.
Mm-hmm. And what other projects are you working on right now that our viewers can look forward to seeing from you?
I'm working on a few interesting little projects. You guys are going to hear me in ways that you've not heard me before. Let's just say that because I've released only reggae records so far. So I have a surprise coming very, 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 very soon. So look out for that. Two surprises actually. And I'm not sure if I'll get in trouble if I disclose any more.
Okay. Can you tell us where we can follow you on social media so we can be ready when they're out?
Okay, you can follow me at Sacaj Music. That's SACAJMUSIC on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, everywhere. And you can find my music everywhere on all streaming platforms at Sacaj Music as well. And all the music videos are out on YouTube at Sacaj Music.
And they're airing on Tempo Networks right now.
And they're airing on Tempo Networks right now.
Is there anyone on your team that you'd like to give a shout out to before we wrap it up?
Of course, shout out to my whole team. Well, they're not really like the types that love the spotlight. So I don't know if I'll get in trouble for calling them. But big up to my whole team. You guys know who you are. I appreciate you guys so much. And big up to everybody that supports Sacaj. I love you guys.
Thank you so much for joining me today, Sacaj. It's been an absolute pleasure. Tempo loves supporting its female recording artists and seeing women doing great things. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep spreading the message. And everyone can watch these music videos on Tempo Networks right now during our music video blocks throughout the day. So keep up your tempo. We'll definitely be in touch, Sacaj. Thank you again.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having me again.
Of course.
Bye.